What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, we got a leak from True Turkey D, formerly known as True Jordi, who's obviously now been co-opted by the Desert Diddy Mafia. Why, people ask me, why YB has True Jordi been co-opted by the Desert Diddy Mafia? Listen, he's £250, and really, that's all you need for Desert Diddy. He liked the big bulls, which is well documented. It's not a big, might be conspiracy. No. We know Desert Diddy loved the big bulls. He ingratiates himself with the bulls. He loved to be in the mix. People, there's 10 bulls lined up. You've all seen the photo of Ngannou, Tyson Fury, Usyk and AJ, and Desert Diddy just in the mix. Like, yeah, Desert Diddy like the YB would be at a strip club, essentially. Just in the mix. Everyone's there. The difference is, he'd be in the mix with a whole bag of £250 plus balls. The YB will be in the mix with a whole bunch of titties and whatnot. Anyway, I've digressed. True Turkey. Yeah, True Turkey. He doing too much. Just sucking Johnson off. Too much sucking. And it's a bit like yesterday. I did a video on John Fury saying that Tommy Fury is shades of Gennady Triple G Golovkin. Things like that is too much, man. How can you look at yourself in the mirror at night knowing the glazing and the slimes you be providing? Oh, AB, he got the bag. For whatever reason, if a man is providing slimes and a glaze to another people, men ain't supposed to glaze other men off. That's a woman's job. For real, right? So how can a man look at himself in the mirror knowing he's glazing off next man, knowing he's sliming off next man? That's the question you man just sit there now, listen to these bars from True Turkey, and just 100% appreciate where I'm coming from here. Anyway, let's get to the bars from this cornball.
I can only help him. AJ, on the other hand, been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and Eddie Hearn throwing up the 3 sign behind him. The 3-time champion of the world, could it be? It'll be unbelievable if he does it. Apparently, they did a face-off, AJ and Dubois, and shit got a bit lively.
So it was at the end of the face-to-face where someone said, September 21st, guys, and not before. And Daniel said, well, if you want to go now, I'll go now as well. And AJ said, do you want me to smash this chair across your face? Don't ever disrespect me like that again. And went for it. And then they all sort of had to be...
Just quickly, obviously, True Turkey, yeah, he's about to react to this and be like, just glazing Johnson off, talking about how great it was that he was going to smack a chair over his head. When have you, man, seen AJ do anything violent? I'm talking in the ring as well, to be quite frank. When was the last time you saw him do something violent? I'm not talking about looking at the floor and bowling the right hand over. Violence for me, yeah, is when you're engaged in a fight. I'd say Dubois versus Hrgovic. Dubois was violent. He was taking shots. He was banging away. He was having a go. That's quite, for me, yeah. True Geordie in a second, you're going to hear him glazing. Oh, Eddie Hearn, look at his face. Eddie Hearn's like, AJ said he's going to knock a chair on his head. Eddie, where was that chair when Mr. Blobby was punching him in his head? Where was that chair when Mr. 200 can't punch a lick? Alexander Usyk was slapping him in his mouth. Almost had him out there, both fights, really. If Usyk was a genuine heavyweight, Fury would have been stopped, for sure. AJ would have been stopped. Imagine if Usyk was £250. Oops. Both of them, AJ would have been stopped twice. Fury would have been stopped, for damn sure. Yeah? That's a fact. So, I've digressed. The point is... Like, to sit there, for Eddie Hearn to sit there, oh, AJ said he's going to knock that chair on his head. Look at True Geordie's like, oh my god, this is amazing. Listen to this guy. Listen to True Turkey now. Listen to Glaze Johnson off for threatening to hit a chair. Just get the chair, let the people, that's what I don't get. Yeah? You're a 6'5", £250 Nigerian Mandingo bull. Why are you fronting for? Like you can do something. I'm going to get the chair. Just get the chair and let it off. Right? Look at DC and Cormier. DC and Cormier really had beef. There was no, I'm going to do this. It just went down. Right? They were the shits. Johnston, he a fronter. He talked all that gangster shit before the Usyk fight. Right? Oh man, I know I'd never watched boxing. I watched Larry Hoover and Big Meech and and Pablo Escobar and, Kakadu Lou. That's what he say. He get in there, get punched up, and then he mad. He will bend out of shape after 12 rounds, throwing Usyk's belts out the ring. Just a bit mad, really, innit? If we're honest. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit mad. Anyway, here's True Geordie's reaction.
As well. And AJ said, do you want me to smash this chair across your face? Don't ever disrespect me like that again. And went for it. And then they all sort of had to be pulled apart.
And went for him. Come on, Eddie, that's not what happened at all. There was no one going for anyone. Let's not make out it was really like that. And even if it was, Johnson, he good at fighting when he knows there's security, etc, etc. Right? That's when he wants to kick off. Fact. When Usyk punched him up the second time, he weren't looking to kick off at any time in them 12 rounds. He was looking to kick off, same as Franklin, when he went life and death with Franklin Martin. Franklin something. It was all meek in the ring. Then after the fight, when the bell went, the authorities stepped in, everyone's nice and secure, and there's a whole bag of man in the ring, Johnson wants to be hard. That's Johnston. He'll act hard when there's a whole bunch of security and federal infrastructure around him to keep him safe, essentially, from really shit going left. He ain't gangster like that. If he was, he'd have just got the chair and licked it off his head and said, oops, I'm paid. We been had the lawyers. What's the point of having all that money, not having no lawyers, right? That's what money for. To beat the case. Oops, listen. I'll tell the judge straight if I was Johnston. I'll say, listen, people. I said, listen, judge, end of the day, man, the boy said he wanted it. And he got it. What can I say? Yeah, there's no damages to be paid because he wanted the chair upside his head and he got it. So you need to ask him why he was acting like he wants him upside his head. Yeah, that's what I'd do to the judge. What's the judge going to say? He ain't going to say nothing. We beat in that case. That's what you best believe. Anyway, here we go. Here's True Geordie. Look at Eddie Hearn. He's proper grinning like, this is what I can't deal with. Where was all this smiling when you got punched up by Usyk? Oh, you got to let him off because he's had a hard time. He's a big old Nick. Go fight. Fight for what you want. In the 12 rounds allocated to do so. Don't be making excuses now for his big ass. Oh, he had a hard time. He lost. He's not a toddler, Eddie Hearn. He's a grown-ass man. A 35-year-old man. Throwing a strop. Because he didn't want to get busy when it mattered. Yeah? Now you're all giggling because he said he was going to do something. Wow, that's the level we're at right now, people. Saying you can do something titillates the masses. It titillates me, ain't gonna lie. I got titillated by Tyson Fury. But I ain't gonna lie to you, people. So it's one of them ones, but still, man.
You know what? I was already sold on this fight, but that's really put the icing on the cake. Because for AJ, when he's in this frame of mind, it usually results in him knocking someone out. When he says, don't you ever fucking, like, when he gives it that, you're like, okay, someone's getting knocked clean out here. It reminds me of, was it Dom?
When Anthony Johnston is in this mode, you know someone's getting knocked out. Well, when was that then, True Geordie? True Turkey? When was that then? Because he was supposed to be in that mode with Usyk, right? Before the fight, he was saying, I'm done with all that boxing-ish. I'm from the streets now. Oops. Mr. Blobby. Yeah, you can say, oh, he wasn't really in that mode. Well, he was, because Jerome Miller put him in that mode, and that was a Jerome Miller fight. You can say, well, Andy Ruiz is more meek. It didn't really motivate him. Okay, fine. It's okay not to be motivated before a fight. But once a man hits you upside your head and pops your cherry, well, it didn't pop your cherry because Vlad did that. But once a man does that, it's on like Donkey Kong. There's no more, let's get excited, right? What's there to get excited about? You've been popped. It's time to fight now, right? It's not a case of, well, when he's in this mode, like a mode works like that, people. Let me tell you something now. That mode that True Turkey references will always be activated if you've got it within you by getting bopped on the side of your head, right? If you've got this gully Roadman, Ahmad, yeah, Muhammad Ahmad, Bruce Lee inside you, once you get bopped inside your head, even if you go into a fight, yeah, and it's like, well, I'm not really up for this. Once you get bopped on your head, it wakes you up and you think, okay, it's time to fight now. Where was that for Johnston with Mr. Blobby? In fact, even if you say, well, YB, he was a bunch of all the Anthony homosexuals be telling me, no, YB, he was this, he was concussed, he was this, his nan had a bad leg, and 100%, the bins didn't get taken out on Tuesday, so doing way too much. So let's assume you're right, that Johnson had a concussion and his nan was sick and his dog ate his own work and whatever else, and that's why he got popped by Mr. Blobby. Explain to me how he came back. He had a whole 6 months to get over that concussion. If he's this guy who, when he's in his mode, he can't be stopped and he's ferocious, where was that mode with Mr. Blobby? 2, the rematch, right? At that point, you got to be gully. At that point, you got to be road. At that point, you got to be in that mode. This guy popped my cherry, gave me my first loss, stopped me, made me quit. He getting it. Oh, no. Mr. Anthony in that mode. Oh, it's exciting. He knows someone's going to get knocked out. Didn't do nothing. And then, I'm not sure, I think I've missed it now, but earlier in this video, True Geordie was saying that AJ has his best chance now because essentially slagging off AJ's team. Now, we know AJ's team is whack. We can all agree with that, or has been whack. Rob McCrappen's no good. He's an amateur coach. He needs to stay in his lane, in my opinion. That's just what it is. Angel Fernandez, no good. I'm sorry, he just ain't. Bottom line, yeah, no good, in my opinion. So those are the 2 cats he had that were particularly useless. And True Geordie's saying, yeah, well, they was useless. Now, for me, boxing is like football. A lot of football heads, they always blame the manager. No. Ultimately, for me, the responsibility is with the individual. These are grown-ass men. Yeah? Rob McCrappen wasn't training the England under-10s. Right? He's a grown-ass man. He'd been doing this 15 years. Same as Tyson Fury, when people telling me, YB, it's not Fury's fault. He didn't know he was losing. Stop. Yeah, anyone who plays sport knows when you're in a close fight or you're dominating or you're losing. You know deep down. You can sit there and lie to yourself. You know deep down. Yeah, you damn sure know deep down when you almost got knocked out, right? And you know you got bust up. So stop playing. You know. Relevance to the Johnston situation, he knew. Yeah, his team was no good, but he knew. The Usyk fight was going left. And he could have chose to stick his gloves on his head, pop, and have a fight. Make a fight of it. Just walk through the dude. Like Chisora, to be fair, that's what Chisora did. Chisora don't have the speed or the athleticism or the power of AJ. That's what he did. He come in just bowling shots over. Having a go. That's what Johnson could have done. He didn't. So stop trying to make out that he'd be doing it like, oh, you just never... When AJ's in this mode, like he's been known... Like AJ's known to be that guy who can flick a switch, yeah? And when that switch is on, he's ferocious. In fact, to the contrary. We've seen him... All we've seen is ferocious. So again, I watched the Wallin fight back. I watched Johnston versus Wallin. Go watch it back yourself. And that was under the great Mr. Maggie Ben Davison. That fight, there was nothing ferocious in there, people. AJ's butt was flinching for the whole 5 rounds. Yes, Wallin quit because he's no good. And didn't want to fight. He's a pussy as well. But what can you expect? He's from Finland, bro. Come on, people, stop. I like people from Finland. I'm just, in fact, politically speaking and socially speaking, I'm more that way inclined. But they ain't the best fighters, though. Right? They're on some hippie shit. He want to be in the trees cooking some... I don't know, lighting some fires and singing hymns and shit. That's what he made for. He ain't made to fight like that. He's not. Right? Nothing wrong with that. I'm just calling a spade a spade. What are you getting? Come on, people. He's known for losing to Tyson Fury, who's no good himself. Tyson Fury can't punch, got no chin, and he don't train. So forget about Tyson Fury. You understand, people? So Johnston, where was this ferociousness against Wallin? And then in Ghana, okay, you looked at the floor and you bowled your right hand over. Party trick. Essentially, it was a party trick. That was like a Wilder. Again, people giving AJ credit. There's people out there who slag Wilder off for having no skills or for being a one-trick pony, and in the same breath, you sucking off Johnston for landing. That was a party trick, people. I'll be very surprised if there's anything that's scalable from that. Like, scalable means you can apply it to everyone you fight, or to a large percentage. AJ went in there, looked at the floor, and bowled his right hand over. Literally. He went in there, yeah, looked at the floor, pulled his hand to his waist, and slung it over like he bowling for the Ashes. Yeah? Like he pitching for the New York Yankees. That's what he did. Which is a great party trick for a UFC fighter who we know are leaky. We know UFC fighters, their guards like a bit like, I don't know what they'd be doing. They never tight. UFC fighters are never tight defense, ever. They're not used to. Kickboxing is much more loose. Kickboxing and wrestling, it's more loose, it's more flowy. They're never tight. Boop, straight down the middle, he sleep. Okay, nice party trick. That don't make you gully though. It don't. Because gully is when you hit on the side of the head and you're like, yeah, let's have a go now. Dubois, for me, right now, he's quit in the past. He has been BLM's, Colin Kaepernick's top BLM representative for sure in the past. But that Hrgovic fight, man, that for me, he showed more heart in that fight. If you had to go fight for fight, people talk about AJ versus Klitschko. Not really. Klitschko let him off the hook. Yeah, Dubois beat the brakes off Hrgovic. Hrgovic was laying it on for 2 or 3 rounds from the jump. Dubois never even got a look into the first 2 or 3 rounds. So to come back from that and beat the brakes and make an undefeated fighter quit, I believe Hrgovic was fixing to quit. He'd made no protests about the stoppage. He was quitting. To do that, that is great resilience against a young, hungry, undefeated Croatian down bad bull who had to win that fight against the odds. AJ was favourite against Vlad. AJ was the young guy. AJ was the one with AJ even prime for prime. AJ had more power than Vlad. AJ had more speed. So AJ had all the intangibles over Vlad. And he still went life and death and didn't really fight for half of it. The first 4 rounds, AJ came out politicking with Vlad. Fact. Just dancing around. He could have gone in there and stuck it straight on him. But again, he ain't that guy though to do that. He ain't that guy. So, stop lying. Stop making stories up. Stop glazing for the sake of glazing. Stop trying to find things that aren't there like AJ's people. If I'm wrong, yeah, you man tell me, true Geordie, true Turkey. If I'm wrong, you give me the fight. Say, YB, you're wrong. This was the fight. AJ flicked the switch and knocked everyone out. That's what he said. He said when AJ's on this mode, he knocks everyone out. What mode? When was this then? Okay, maybe Dillian White. Dillian White. Oh my god. You're talking about Dillian White. People. Tyson Fury has no power. We can all agree that now, surely. He has no power. And he knocked Dillian White out with 1 punch and Dillian was spark out and his ankle was twisted. Forget about Dillian. AJ had to pummel Dillian, and I believe the Dillian White who fought Fury was better. More experience and better resume and whatever else. 50-year-old Povetkin knocked Dillian White out with 1 punch. AJ was in there smacking away for 7 rounds. Yeah? Povetkin and Fury hit him once, he spark out. AJ had to hit him a million times. So stop playing, man. He ain't that guy like that. Pissing me off.
Stuff like that. I think he feels like that is guiding him towards victory here. And it reminds me of, was it Dominic Breazeale? Breazeale sort of squared up to him in a photo because for AJ, when he's in this frame of mind, it usually results in him knocking someone out. When he says, don't you ever fucking, like, when he gives it that, you're like, okay, someone's getting knocked clean out here. It reminds me of, was it Dominic Breazeale? Breazeale sort of squared up to him in a photo shoot in a fucking garden or something. And AJ just looked at him and went, you're not about that life, mate. Do you really want this to go there? Because I'll fucking kill you right now. Yeah, when AJ's in that mood, it's always a good fight, in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts.
Dominic Breazeale, people, again. Wilder knocked him out in a round. I don't even rate Wilder like that. Wilder just clipped him once. Wilder's no good. Wilder's not. I hate to break it to you, man. Yeah, Wilder's no good. He can't punch. I don't even think Wilder can punch, based on evidence. He's a bum slayer. He can punch most bums. Yeah? Anyone decent, he can't punch all of a sudden. Couldn't take Fury out, who's got no chin himself. Couldn't take Parker out. Couldn't take Zhang out. What more evidence you need? He knocked out one half decent dude who's 60 years old, Luis Ortiz. Okay, that makes you the biggest puncher of all time. When you couldn't knock out Bermain Stavern the first time, you couldn't knock out Fury, you couldn't knock out Parker, you couldn't put down Parker, you couldn't put down Zhang, you couldn't knock out Zhang, you couldn't put down Bermain Stavern in the first fight, and you're the biggest knockout king of all time. Come on, people. And now True Turkey talking about how AJ's claim to fame is that he put it on Breazeale. Took him 7 rounds. Bashing away. If you can't bash up Dominic Breazeale in 7 rounds, and that was AJ's prime, undefeated, bull. I struggle to see how, unless you've gone into the Matrix with Ben Davison, I struggle to see how you're going to just bowl Dubois out there. AJ's never been that guy to bowl people out in half a round. Just never has. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100% or that about it. Stop it.